We now move on to preview tomorrow's matchups at the European Championship, and it is match day 2, which makes this very fascinating in the fact that a lot of teams are really, they're really gonna have a chance to save their European Championship after bad starts. There's also teams that have had good starts that are gonna maybe fall apart in the second game that could affect them the rest of the tournament. There's gonna be a lot of interesting storylines, especially how the opening games went on. Yeah, I think this match day 2 is gonna be really special. And you start off with Croatia taking on Albania. Now, to recap, both of these teams are coming off defeats. Croatia was thumped by Spain 3-0, despite having a vast majority of chances to really, swing the game in their favor. Albania, they're coming off of a loss that they gave up a lead, with them scoring the fastest goal in European history, taking the lead within the first 30 seconds. But then Italy were quickly able to respond within the next 17, 18 minutes to take the lead. Then, and they had a few opportunities here and there to really get that second to equalize it, but they weren't able to get it down. So they will be, so now they're looking to get a result against the Croatians. Now, in my opinion, I think Albania is a pretty impressive side, and they proved that against Italy. Now, Italy, there were stretches in the game that they really dominated, but then Albanians, they kept despite going down early, giving up that lead early, they hanged in there. They didn't allow it to get out of hand, and then they slowly built their way back, and there was, for me, I don't understand why they didn't do this more often, but they had their opportunities going along and really testing those Italian center backs. In the few moments that they did, they were in behind and they created some opportunities. Now, why they didn't do that more often, especially throughout that second half, earlier in that second half, I don't know. I don't know why they waited till the end to really chase it. But they proved in that game that they got brilliant players, brilliant football players. Broja, with the pace that he provides, he could be deadly. We saw the quality, the clinicalness of Bajarami. Asani is a very, very good player. He proved that on Monday. I'm not counting out this team. I thought they were strong defensively. I think the goals that they conceded was, one was a set piece. The other was, unlucky in the fact that they had a clearance deflect off DiMarco, which fell right into the path of Barella, who hit a screamer of a goal. But yeah, I don't think they're a bad team. Now, Croatia, they're coming off a 3-0 loss to Spain. But yet again, I happened to analyze the performance of the game, and I didn't think they were deserving of a 3-0 loss. Now, they weren't good, and they defended bad. They really, really defended bad in certain moments that really made them pay. But it's not a team that I think was gonna, just go away. I think they have experience, and they proved in that game that they can play football. They created plenty of chances against Spain, and any other day that game could have been game could have been 2-2, 3-3. That's the kind of game that it was. It was back and forth. Spain would score a goal, then Croatia would go and respond and almost get a goal. Spain would get another goal, and Croatia go right back up the field and be this close to getting another goal. And then at the end of the first half, right before Spain scored, they had a huge opportunity to get a goal. But then Spain were able to get a third, and then another opportunity to start the second half that Croatia had cleared off the line by Cucurella, and then another opportunity that they had with that penalty that he should have just shot in, but he decided to draw the penalty. Rodri should have got a red card, but that's another story. And they end up missing the penalty, and they end up getting it in actually, but off the rebound. But the player, I believe it was Perisic, get called for encroachment. But they played some good football in that game. So I'm not ready to write them off like some people are saying, oh, this generation, I think it's over, blah, blah, blah. I'm not ready to run it off because in terms of general play, I thought they played pretty well. It's just individual moments went against them and went Spain's way. But I think in this game, this is the game that Croatia get their European Championship back on track. I don't think Albania has the quality to be clinical like Spain was and to really make Croatia pay. Now, I think Armando Broja's pace in transition could cause the Croatian center backs issues, because that is the weakness of this Croatian team. I think they're pretty daft in the way that they defend. I think you might look at bringing Guardiola as a center back. I'm not trying to tell Zlatko Dalic how to manage, because he's a brilliant manager and he knows much more football than I could dream of. But I think you probably want to move Guardiola as a center half and bring in another natural left back. Maybe that he can provide more in the attack as well. Just so you solid up, because that center back partnership was really daft in the way that they defended, in my opinion. And I think Broja can make them pay if they leave huge gaps like they did, especially on that first goal against Morata. But again, I don't think this Albanian team has what it takes to be clinical the way that Spain was. And I think Croatia once they get that first goal into the back of the net, whether it comes from, a guy like Perisic who might start this game, or Kramaric or whatever, maybe a goal from midfield, I think that will really open up the floodgates for Croatia. I think this will go similarly the way that they, beat Canada last World Cup, beating them 4-1. I think this is the time that they really turn around their European Championship and get started. And I see them, comfortably getting past Albania and winning this game and really dominating the midfield, really controlling the ball, and really, making Albania a little bit suffocate in certain moments of the game. I really think this is going to be a Croatia's game here. I'm looking at like a 3-1, that type of scoreline. I think will be comfortable. Germany-Hungary, this is my opinion. This is Germany's first real test at this European Championship. Not that Scotland are a poor team, but the Scotland that showed up yesterday are a very poor team. Or not yesterday, but on whenever the European Championship started last Friday, I think that was not a good team. They didn't show up. They left so much space. They defended horribly. They played a ridiculously high line despite having no pressure on the ball, and they let Toni Kroos do whatever he wants. Hungary is a team that, they're not going to allow that to happen. Not saying Hungary is better than Scotland or anything, which, they probably are just based on quality. But this is a Hungary team that's also reeling, and they got comfortably shellacked by Switzerland. Switzerland really outplayed them in that first game. So, and it's going to take everything for Hungary to even get a point in this game. But I do believe in the quality Hungary has to make this Germany team suffer. I think they have more quality than the Scottish team. So I do think this is going to be a tight, cagey affair for Germany. I don't think it's going to go anywhere near as well as it did in match day 1. Hungary, they're going to come in, they're going to defend. They have quality to make you pay with Dominik Szoboszlai. It's a good all-around team, and I think this is the first real test for Germany. We get to see how good they are and if they are a legit contender to win this European Championship. I'm gonna go for a point apiece. I think this game ends in a tie. I think Hungary put a good account for themselves at the last European Championship. This game ended at 2-2 after a goal in the last dying moments for Germany with Goretzka. I think it's gonna go similar. I think it'll be a cagey affair. I think Germany are gonna struggle to really break down this Hungarian defense, and I think it's gonna go 1-1. I really do. Scotland, Switzerland. This is the game. Excuse me. This is the game I'm looking forward to most for tomorrow. I think Scotland is, obviously it's crucial for them to really rebound after what happened at game 1. I think they kind of need 4 points. They need 4 points in this group to move on, because you look on it, you're not going to move on as a 3-point third place team when you just got defeated 5-1. The goal differential is going to be a massive factor. So they're going to need the full 4 points. And I think they're going to need a result against Switzerland. Probably a win, but a result. But I don't think it's going to go anywhere near as bad as I did game 1. I think game 1, the fact that they were playing against Germany, and I just didn't really understand the setup, in my opinion. I think Steve Clark will fix the issues that they had in game 1 in terms of allowing, you don't want to give, if you give Granit Xhaka the same amount of time that you gave Toni Kroos, it's going to go horribly wrong again. Not as bad as what it went against Germany, but it's still going to go really wrong. You got to close off that space that Granit Xhaka has. They're going to have to be very careful with the pace of Varga, not Varga, Dua going in behind. Dua and Vargas and Endoy, you got to be very very careful, especially with Dua, who was very tidy in that first game with his runs in behind. You have to be aware of him and his ability. I think Scotland have a surprise in us to show. All teams are writing them off because of how bad it went game one, but I don't think they're as bad as that. I think they just performed horribly that day. I think they need to go back to. I don't think they can't play as high of a line as they did in the last game, and they gotta stay compact like they do and take advantage of space left in behind as Switzerland come in and really play a transitional game, which I think Scotland are able to do that. They're gonna have the support of the country behind them. The Tartan army travels well, so I'm gonna. Now Switzerland are the much better team, just based on how they performed against Hungary. I did not see that kind of performance coming from Switzerland, but I'm gonna go with the upset here. I haven't really called much upsets up to this point. I'm gonna say Scotland get the 1-0 victory. A goal coming from John McGinn or McTominay or McGregor, somebody from midfield is able to get a goal, and they defend for their lives and they escape with a 1-0 win. That's what I predict for the Scottish.